it's actually it's a real life learning opportunity, isn't it? You know, they're outside experiencing things that happen in real life, not just sat at a desk.
These are the two tools that that the quarrymen would have worked on here, and they would have started at your age. That's called a kibble, and that's called a twiebel, and they would work with that all day, and that's how this landscape was formed.
They are hefty.
Yeah.
You need at least handle it for. You need to feel the weight of them and what it would have been like to use. Yeah, they're heavy, aren't they?
They had a thing of swinging it, so they swung it all day, and they used to slide their hand up and down. I don't know, some continuous motion, and they call it squaring the stone to make it square. So that would have had to hit the edge of the stone. So you kind of continuous movement.
Yeah.
So the tool kind of takes the movement, so you don't have to lift it anymore because it's like continuous energy. We can give you some lessons later. You could become a quarryman.
It's going to be experimental what we do today, all right? And don't worry if it doesn't work. We'll do another one. If you look at it and think, oh, that's not work. You know, we can smudge it out, we can rub it out, we can add another layer to it, and I think that's what's going to make this even more interesting if you do stuff like that.
Sometimes when you do something like a scribble, you don't worry too much, and then you look at it, you find something else in it, and then you look again, and then you find something else. So you keep discovering things. That happens when you carve. So it's a really layering experience. Like you said, it's about the landscape too, because landscape's sort of layered.
Students have been able to come today and obviously do their drawings, but the drawings are really significant because they're layering them up in sections, which is effectively what they're looking at. These ancient seas embedded in the stone is layered up over time, and they've created that through their expressive drawing and work that they've done. So we've got our students doing some recording of this incredible building that's come from Fleet Street in London. Hannah's managed to save that entrance, that doorway, and Hannah would like to reinstate that into this part of Portland, creating a vista, creating a viewpoint looking into the sculpture park. So we've got our students here, and they're doing some studies, they're doing some drawings and some observations of what the initial building would look like from a scale model, and with a hope to try and think of what concept or what idea they could bring to the reverse side of the framework of the doorway. And Hannah's managed to save this, and it's all in sections now. She's got it in the drill hole. She's got each section all numbered and labelled together so it can get rebuilt in exactly that kind of process, and in it will frame this massive, huge area here. But what Hannah's saying is, what will the back look like? It's a little bit of a thought process. What could you do? What could you add to the back? We know what the front is because it's there, but the back can be evolved or changed in some way. So, I mean, we could do some sketches now. We could just literally sketch that as it is in location, and then you might suddenly think, I know, let's add that on. So we had a really good opportunity with working with Hannah to bring our students over, and we just thought, this is an incredible place to come. Just the landscape itself is amazing. Obviously the memory stones and what they mean. It's been an opportunity for the students to actually just get an understanding of what the stone means to Portland, but also how it has a greater impact across London and other parts of the world, and sort of bringing it all together.